My role this year at The Great Escape is I'm venue rep for Coalition for the General Festival. That entails any of the acts that have been booked and have been programmed in by the festival need to make sure that their production, i.e. their logistics and their setup and the delivery of their event goes smoothly and all the problems are ironed out before and during the show. And it's my job to make sure that we've got relevant crew, relevant advancing of the production gear and of the sound checks to make sure that they're as happy as they can be and to enjoy the show. I'm a freelancer and I've been brought in by Lout Promotions who deal with the programming and the artist liaison for the festival. My work, probably with the work that I've been engaged in with The Great Escape, it means that I get asked if I can do the show probably about 2 months ahead, and then I will probably get the lineup for the show and what I'll be working on about a month before, and I'll start advancing, so getting in contact with all the tour managers, the audio techs and sometimes the management to talk about what they will be bringing in terms of their technical specifications and their catering specifications, so like beer, etc, etc. And from that, what I'll do is I'll go through each of their tech setups and their layouts to make sure that we have kit for them to use, find out if they have kit that they're bringing, and if they don't, organise all the shares and all the channel lists for the desk. I arrived here on Wednesday, did a full day in my hotel on Wednesday working on the pre-production, and then my hours when I'm here, normally my first load in is at 1 o'clock, but I like to make sure I get here just before midday, meet the staff, make sure that there's been no snags from previous nights, helping with the patching, helping with the sound desk, helping with the lights and making sure that they're all set. Having the load-ins then from about 1 o'clock, having our headliner come in between 1 and 3, and then we've got the remaining 4 bands that are supporting them. And then that runs all the way through to doors at 6 o'clock, and then we've got shows for the next 4 hours, 5.5 hours. And then we load out after the show about 11 o'clock, clear the floor, clear the stage, and then we have a load in of our club sets, which is quite unusual because I think Coalition are one of the only venues to do that. And we have a club night that is programmed and runs normally till about 3 in the morning, and that can consist of dancier kind of bands and invariably DJs on the Saturday night. And on this Saturday we've got 9 DJs playing, which is pretty intense. It's a really good question, actually. I'm noticing that a lot more people are having tour managers that are sound engineers as well, because it means that bands can save money on bringing in their own extra crew to do the driving and to do the sound. So if they double those roles up, often it's cheaper. But from a venue's perspective, if they're bringing in their own sound engineer, it means that quite often the sound checks are very different because they're not used to the desks, they're not used to the speakers, not used to the setup. So from our perspective, as a venue perspective, from a rep perspective, I actually like it when they don't have their own sound engineer, because it means that our venue staff know the rig and the PA implicitly. I think the hours are testing. I enjoy the pre-production work, so getting in contact with as many of the artists, as many of the managers, etc., to iron out as many problems as you can. And I think the key for my job is creating a dialogue and making sure that their expectations of the festival are balanced, representing the festival to make sure that everybody's G'd up, but also the management of any problems that happen during the day. That could be wildly different from people turning up. That has happened this year, people turning up, not bringing any backline, and then turning up to the venue and going, right, we need to play, and then they've not organised any instruments, any shares for them. That is tough because there isn't any there's no troubleshooting that I can do before. It's literally on the spot, shit, what can we do? How do we do it? How do we do it without escalating it so people feel upset by it? And kind of leaning on democratic force sometimes to make sure that we get what we need and the band are satisfied and are feeling that we can work. But often some problems we have to just run with and just get through it. some things can't be solved if we haven't got enough time. It swells definitely during the operation, because they've probably got about a team of, I don't know, 20 people at the main festival that run the operations of it. But in terms of running each of the venues, I've got a staff of 2, 3, 4, probably about 7 people that deliver the show with me, and they don't directly answer to me, and I very much don't believe in kind of that management hierarchy when we're in the venue. Everybody kind of chips in. I've been working in festivals, in music festivals, since I was probably about 16. I've done small grassroots festivals and then built up to larger international festivals, working on both the production side and also from an artist perspective, working in artist management as well. Last year I worked with 2012 festivals and worked with the 2012 Games and the Paralympics, and I have been a fan of music production and live music since I can remember. So I've been doing courses, voluntary courses, working in management, working with the advancing, working with sound engineering for as long as I can remember. Really good, really loved it. Yeah, we had an absolutely fantastic band called On and On play last night. They are probably one of the best bands that I've seen in the last 6 months. Really, really happy to work with them. And I helped set up an interview with PV to endorse them, the speaker guys and the amp guys, to speak with them and endorse them afterwards. So that was really good. And I think that's what this festival is really about. It's about bringing together creatives with industry and helping realise their live shows and making it as fun and as joyful as possible for everybody. I believe so, but I don't get involved with any of the monies for this. I'll be honest, I listen to everything that's here because I have to, and I have to make recommendations about how it sounds, how it looks, how the event is managed, and making sure that the event is delivered properly. It's surprising, I can't listen to everything, and there are some happy surprises, but because of the way it's programmed, it is very dense. We've got one of the busiest venues here. On and On, principally, have been the best ones. I'm really excited to hear Unknown Mortal Orchestra later on this evening. They've just done their sound check and it sounded absolutely fantastic. And also I'm quite excited to hear a band called Clean Bandit that are playing this evening, and they've just brought in a string section and some gospel singers, which is quite different. Potential highlight for tomorrow, I'm really excited about the Allelars. They're replacing 80s Matchbox Beeline Disaster, and it's going to be some nice kind of psychedelic sounds. I think it's a great ethos, actually. I don't come from Brighton, I come from London, like many of the people that seem to come down from here. I like feeling as if I'm on holiday, and it does feel like a small town on the beach that really wants to get stuck in and really focus on what music is about, and creating a really giving atmosphere to both industry and to the artists. And it's fantastic that we've got showcases here that really highlight the best of what's around. I think as a conference festival, it's the most important in the UK. I'm possibly working on some European festivals after this, and also I've got about 8 freelance gigs working in festivals in the UK. It did, but now it doesn't, because I've managed to rein in the winter work, and I've managed to get that on my contact sheet. So at the start it was very tough, and I'm doing what the volunteers do here in terms of working at the festivals for free, trying to develop their contacts, trying to stand out and work as hard as they can. But when you get in with management and you get in with artists and you get in with promoters, you can develop a contact sheet. But that's taken a good 10 years really to build up, for them to come to me and say, look, we need help, can you do this? It takes a long time. Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to mention any names, but there was a particular act last year where it felt like we had the paparazzi outside. It turned mental for about 6 hours before with the lead up, and this person was a surprise act that came on at the last moment. And and to be honest, I think I prefer it when we don't have that much hype, because it means that it's much more organic and it means people are much more surprised, and I like seeing that. And for the band, they get really excited when it's a surprising atmosphere and they can see the support. And the venue's a big venue for the Great Escape. It's got a capacity of 500, so it means that when people really do like it, lots of Twitter activity happens and it gets absolutely rammed, and I love seeing that happen. We had an instance last year, I'm not going to name names again, and absolutely it did feel like that. And it's interesting actually, you deal with those acts, you can tell because their tour manager's like, need this, need that, need this, where are the towels, where's the water, where's backstage? We don't have a backstage, it's a small venue and people have to learn that they're chipping in, and it's a small showcase festival, and the vibe is to make it free and make it fun and make it less formal than those other kind of highly paid festivals, and that this is really a festival that you can shine and you can work with people. It's not one of these ones where you have to stamp your feet and get angry. Yeah, absolutely. I love the festival. It's great. Yeah, we'll see.